What is up, guys? Nox here. Faded as a fucking bitch today, as usual. And today we are going to be going into the first time I ever did DXM, otherwise known as dextromethorphan. So DXM is basically a cough medicine. You can find it everywhere over the counter at any local like CVS, pharmacy, Walgreens, whatever you want. But it can also be abused. And that's what this series is going to get into. All the fun times I've had abusing this very interesting substance. Now, for those of you who don't know, DXM is a dissociative drug, which basically means it inhibits your brain from feeling the effects of reality. It's like it disassociates your brain from your body, basically. And so when you do DXM, it's a very pleasurable experience, very euphoric. It's a good drug, as long as you're not taking it too much. And then that's when it can become a problem. So this story is the first time I've ever done DXM. So let's jump right into it. So this story begins with an actually very important moment in my friends and my life, kind of, but more of my friends. Now, my friend, let's call him fucking Vince because, have to respect privacy. That's not his actual name, but Vince. So basically what ended up happening was he actually got arrested for some shit he did while he was drunk. So he spent a couple months in juvie and got out. Once he had got out, he was on probation. So we needed a drug to do that we could get faded on and he wouldn't piss dirty. So, now if you ever had probation and you had drug testing, you know what that's like. It sucks. You can't smoke, and pretty much any other drug's prohibited unless it's like one of the drugs that doesn't really last that long and isn't really detectable in your body for that long. For example, Xanax is one of the drugs that really is not does not take that long to get out of your system, and it takes like 3 days, I think. But back on topic. So after my homie got arrested, we were researching and we found DXM. We found out about DXM. We found out specifically about Delsym. Now, Delsym is basically a syrup, brand name syrup, sold in pretty much every pharmacy you can imagine. Most places have it. Now, Delsym is an extended release version of DXM, so instead of lasting around 4 to 8 hours, it lasts around 8 to 12. So me and my homie, we learn about DXM and we are fucking lit because we finally have a drug to get faded on, but he doesn't piss dirty. So us being the fucking gremlins we mosey on down to our local pharmacy and we bust that shit. We bust a 5-ounce bottle of orange Delsym, the worst flavor, Grape Nation. But Grape Delsym, let me put y'all on, so much better than orange Delsym. So the exact dosage of these 5-ounce bottles is 888 milligrams of DXM Polyester X. Now, Polyester X is what they call the extended release version. Most products have DXM hydrobromide, or HBr for short. Those drugs, that's the one that lasts around 4 to 8 hours. So Delsym, DXM Polyester X, lasts around 8 to 12. So, but it's half the strength. So 888 milligrams of DXM Polyester X feels like 444 of HBr. So you kind of have to take that into account whenever you're doing a DXM Polyester X product. But other than that, feels the same, just lasts longer, and you have to do more of it to get the right feeling. But we bust this bottle, and it ends up sitting in my backpack for like 2 weeks, like a week and a half to 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. We'll say that. But eventually, when we called it, it was go time, baby. So It was a school day. It was like a Wednesday or a Tuesday, something like that. I'm going to say Wednesday. Now, we pull up. Actually, no, I think it was a Thursday. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I pull up to school, right? And I go through my first couple periods, and we had decided to drop it during the fourth period. So I ended up skipping my third period to meet up with him a little earlier because, hey, I told him, hey, let's meet up at third. We have more time. I'll skip fourth, too, and yeah. So I skipped my third, fourth period class, and after fourth period, that's lunch, to get a little layout of our time frame. So we spend about an hour chilling across the street once I had skipped and linked up with them. We'd spent about an hour. So by the time we had dropped the Delsym, it was about fourth period. So we just go in, and we had migrated from the taco shop to the Porta Subs. Now, the Porta Subs was desolate at this hour. So it wasn't really an issue to just go in, chill, and then us just go to the bathroom and do our thing. So we ended up doing that. Both of us, we went in the bathroom and we start pouring up. We had some Sprites. That we had just caught from this gas station. Fresh Sprites, cold Sprites. So we make some foo-foo lean. We make some DXM lean. You feel me? Some real lame shit. Nowadays, we just drink straight out of the bottle. But, first time's the charm. We don't really know. Anyway, don't pour foo-foo lean. It's lame. So we ended up pouring up this foo-foo lean, and we drank it. We sipped on it, and it takes about 2 hours to kick in. So by the time I went to my sixth period after lunch, that's when I felt it. I didn't feel a damn thing until I had actually dapped up my homie Vince, and he went home with his girl. So basically, I get into my sixth period class, and this is when that thing really hits me. That foo-foo lean I poured up really hits me. I took about 222 milligrams since we split the bottle. That would be a rough estimate of how much I took. So once my sixth period hits, it domes me, dude. I have never felt this weird in my life. At first, it was dysphoric because I assume it was because my body had never felt this before, this like wave. But it hits me, and I start sweating bullets. Sorry if it sounds like I'm wheezing in the background. I'm sick as fuck. But anyway, I just start sweating bullets in the middle of my world history class, and it does not feel very pleasant. At first, I did not want to ever fucking touch this drug again. I was like, holy fuck, this shit does not feel very good. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this again. But after I went to the bathroom, after my sixth period ended, tapped the card a little bit, I realized that this shit could work. And it works for a lot of people. So, the DXM domes me. I get out of the bathroom, and I'm robo-walking to my seventh period. My last period of the day. All I gotta do is get through this period without getting popped for my insanely huge pupils. As you know, anyone who's done DXM, your pupils get pretty big when you're on it. So you gotta be careful who you're talking to. And, obviously, people who don't do drugs like that are going to be concerned about you because your pupils are fucking saucers. Now, so I basically have to kind of pretend like I'm sleeping in class, even though when you're on DXM, you're definitely not sleeping for shit, unless you got some pretty fire pack with you to go along with it. So, I make it into my seventh period class, and I sit down. Right in front of, actually, my homies, Neil and James. Yeah, James. Those seem like good names to give them. And we are booling, right? These guys don't do drugs, definitely. The only thing they do is nicotine. So you can imagine my attitude. Being the big geek boy that I am, you can imagine my attitude toward these people. So I'm chilling. I dap up my homies, but, you know, they're really acquaintances. They're not really close homies. Just some people I talk to in class. So dap them up, chilling, right? Still, you know, the sweating kind of stopped, and it was more of just the main DXM feeling. I feel like my body just kind of reacted to the feeling, and it was kind of like a dysphoric reaction. But the euphoria set in after that had passed, and I kind of stabilized there. So in order to avoid this witch of a chemistry teacher, I basically had to act like I was sleeping. So I put my head down using my arms. You know how it goes. Kind of use your arms as a pillow. And I start tripping. So I feel very good. Now, I never get really intense visuals off Delsym or HBR. The only really DXM product I've ever gotten a visual on is, despite blurred vision, is like Freebase. If you don't know what that is, pure DXM. So, I don't really get many visuals unless I'm taking a really high dose and I get like blurry vision, unless it's Freebase. So, I'm just kind of chilling. I'm feeling the effects, the mental effects of the physical and kind of the euphoria effects of DXM. No visuals. So, I remember the weed that I tapped in the bathroom was kicking in at this point, and I felt amazing. Walking out of class that day was definitely a doozy because I was robo-walking, and I had to walk almost a mile to the bus stop. Now, I took the public bus. I didn't take the school bus because that was just the easier way to get to my home. My home was actually pretty far from this high school that I was going to at the time. So I basically just go onto the bus. I make some really awkward fucking, conversation with the, I wouldn't say conversation, but with the bus driver. I was super awkward with the bus driver. I was like, hey, how do you put the pass in? Like, does it go this way or this way? And he's like, it goes that way. So I put it in that way. Apologies, I'm sick as fuck. If you hear me wheezing in the background, my lungs are fucked up. I am sick as a fucking dog right now, so please bear with me. So I get on the bus, successfully pass the bus driver. Now, I mosey on over to the back of the bus. Classic, right? Just sit down all the way in the back. I'm not talking like a little bit in the back. I'm talking all the way in the back. If you don't sit in the way back, like back, you're a lame. You don't know where all the fun's at. All the fun on a bus is at the back of it. So, I go, sit down. I'm booling, right? I got past the bus driver. I'm booling, and I'm straight down my way home. The bus stop on this particular route stops right in front of the elementary school, which is across the street from my old crib, my childhood crib. Now, this crib is iconic. As long as I remember it, well, I'll always remember it because it's the first crib. It's the childhood crib. But this crib has a lot of memories in it, and I won't ever forget this fucking crib. But, back on topic. So I walk in the crib, and I'm booling. But not so much booling as I was geeked as fuck. I was geeked as fuck, but I was more of like a sleepy geek. I was not like a high energy, I want to fuck around type geek. I was very sleepy. I just had a long day of school. My first time ever doing DXM was a kind of an experience that like it was mid, honestly. It was mid. Like, my first time doing DXM was mid as fuck. It was the worst DXM experience I've ever had. But, come time, things get better. DXM definitely got better. I wouldn't say DXM is one of my favorite drugs. Definitely not my most favorite drug, but it's up there. It's like number 5, maybe number 6. But Outside of that, back on topic, the remainder of the trip, basically consists of me chilling, booling in the crib. I had a cart on me. I was tapping that hoe, big booling, and I fall asleep. Now, if it was just DXM, I normally can't sleep off of just DXM, but when weed comes into the picture, marijuana, oh boy, I can sleep like a baby. Anytime I'm smoking some good pack, I can sleep like a fucking baby. You ever need an alternative to Xans? Smoke some fucking OG, some real good shit. That'll put you to sleep like a fucking baby. But, getting back on topic. So, I fall asleep and I wake up to my dad coming home because I fell asleep on the couch. Now, that's odd because I usually sleep on a bed like a normal person. But I slept on the couch. Now, this is odd for me because... Voice crack. Now, this is odd for me because I usually sleep in my fucking bed and not like a couch surfer in my own house. So my dad coming home, he immediately was like, he sees my pupils. I was in afterglow at this point. So like the DXM effect had kind of worn off with the sleep and I had just went into full afterglow. But as anyone knows, afterglow, your pupils are still fucking big as fuck. So my dad sees my pupils, he shoots me this nasty look, and I'm like, oh shit. Did I just kind of fuck up? And he talks to me about it the next day, and he was like, what were you on last night? And I was like, to keep it honest with you, Pops, I was off them over-the-counter cough meds. I didn't spare any, details, but he was like, don't do that shit. It's fucking bad for you. Of course, I did not listen because, I'm a teenager. I don't really listen to parents like that. So, teenagers, listen to your parents. Fellow peers, listen to your parents. They always got the best things in mind for you. And my pops, including, did have the best thing in mind. Because DXM, it's not the healthiest thing you can be putting in your body. It definitely has side effects. I'll probably talk about that more as this series go on. But just know that don't ever take DXM more than within once a week. What happens is your brain gets really fucked up. You start having memory loss. Your brain just kind of, it's not meant to be ingesting high amounts of DXM more than 1 week or 1 month. If you do some really monster trip, I would suggest waiting 2 or 3 weeks, honestly. But if you're just, booling off a regular dose of DXM, just keep it to once a week, kind of like Molly. So, with that being said, this video is already 18 minutes long, so I'm going to cut it right here. Thank you guys for watching the first ever video on this channel and the first ever series. The first episode of the first ever series on this channel gonna be the Dexpeditions. So, I am Noxy. Peace out. Catch you in the next one.